Hey guys, it's me, Renaissance, and y'all, I have been waiting to get back to my channel. I can no longer wait. Beyonce has pushed me back to this channel so tough that I'm literally holding my phone. I don't have my tripod. I'm sitting in the car in the parking lot of the mall waiting to go to the movies later, and I've been writing this essay for like a couple of weeks now on Beyonce's career. It's a summation, a summarization of my thoughts and all of the things that I have been thinking for all of Beyonce's, 27, 28 year long career. And I do not really consider myself like a super crazy diehard beehiver, but I've always liked Beyonce. I've had my frustrations with her career. I've had my loves with her career. I went to go see the Renaissance film, which was phenomenal. I laughed, I cried, and there were some really good takeaways that helped me to hopefully bring this video together. I want you guys to look at this as music education. My degrees are in music. My certificate is in commercial music business, electronic music production. I am a songwriter. I am a vocalist. We have to get into Beyonce's career and how amazing the Texas Hold'em movement is. And y'all, this is crazy, okay? Let's go. Let's do this. The way I see her career is, it is a sandwich, okay? The first layer of bread is her first solo album, Dangerously in Love, okay? That is the bottom piece of bread, okay? For me, the top piece of bread is the Renaissance album, Act 1, and all of the ingredients in between are the ups and downs, the ins and outs of her career. Let's start with Destiny's Child, the first installment, the original members. So if you guys study music history and you study marketing strategies, many groups start off this way, all the way from Stax Records to Motown. This is a strategy where you have a key member of the group that is slated to become a solo artist at the end of the day anyway, no matter what. I like to call this the Dreamgirls method or the Supremes method. If you study this, you will see that this is happening all throughout music and all genres. Girl groups, guy groups. You have people like Smokey Robinson, Diana Ross, Justin Timberlake. If you guys really know, Fergie was in a group called Wild Orchid, and they had a hit that was fire. Them three girls could sing. And I was actually a Soul Train dancer when they came on to Soul Train to sing their hit single. You guys can go to YouTube and look up Wild Orchid, Fergie, Soul Train, and you will see them there singing their hit single. Same as Michael Jackson, etc. And then we move into the Destiny's Child installment 2 with the new members. That was short-lived. And then we get the Destiny's Child 3 with Kelly and Michelle. And finally, you have a trio that works. Because oftentimes with groups, key members, which is actually like a real label, oftentimes written into contracts, are getting paid more than the other members. They're usually being shown more attention. Sometimes the other members are 1099ers, like they are contractors, and contracts are really written that way. Now, after we've done all of the Destiny's Child, which we have, this girls group, they're introduced to us in the commercial R&B sector, commercial R&B pop, And when that happens, we all create this perception of these girls who are really, young country girls from Texas, from the South. We know Beyonce is from Houston and Kelly from Houston. And I believe Michelle is from Chicago. So she sort of has a different aesthetic. Correct me on anything in the comment section if you know more than I do, because man, I'm just too excited for this. We get Beyonce going solo with Dangerously in Love. Okay. In 2004, she wins Best Contemporary Album of the Year. It can be argued, because of what Jay-Z said at this year's Grammys, she has the most Grammys, but she's never won Album of the Year. But is it possible that Dangerously in Love could have been at least nominated for Album of the Year in 2004 with who? Guess who? Outkast. Evanescence was nominated. Justin Timberlake's Justified was nominated. And a few other people. But look, guys. 2004 was the era of Hey Y'all. Lord have mercy. Outkast won Album of the Year that year. And there was no way we could get away from, from Hey Y'all. Okay? Song of the summer, song of the era, song of the year, and we was shaking a tail feather and shaking our Polaroids like I don't know what. The way I look at Best R&B Contemporary Album of the Year, you can pretty much say that it was the best R&B album of 2004, period. Even if it wasn't the Album of the Year from all categories. With Dangerously in Love, Beyonce really shows us something different from Destiny's Child. She's showing us how much more adult she is. She's showing us how different her aesthetic is from Destiny's Child as the group, even in the songs, even in the dancing, and even in the visuals that we get in all of her music videos. She's showing us in Dangerously in Love how much of a trendsetter she is. And that's even through lingo, through fashion, through style, through looks. She was doing a lot of things that people had not really trailblazed before. She showed that she is actually a strong female artist. This is a quote from the Renaissance film. She says, quote, "I am who I am. Either you take me or you don't. I spent so much of my life as a people pleaser, and finally, I don't give a FCK. I have nothing to prove anymore at this point," unquote. Signed, Beyonce. This really stood out to me in the film. I love the Beyonce I was observing in the Renaissance film. I love the Beyonce I observed in the Renaissance tour that I watched on YouTube. So I just want to say that the statement above literally sums up many of the ingredients of this career sandwich. So let's review. So once again, Dangerously in Love is a super solid, cold-blooded R&B album. I played that CD out so much that, listen, there were so many scratches and skips on that CD. Like, it was really hopeless. Me, Myself, and I literally is like my favorite on the album. Gift from Virgo, she really showed something in Gift from Virgo. Just amazing. And what we could say about Dangerously in Love is that from the solo album now, it can be it would be really easy for any of us to pigeonhole her and say, okay, she's a pop R&B female artist. That's it. That's the only way we can see her. This is who she is. But as we see, Beyonce moves into other albums. She moves into acting roles, other collaborations, lots of collaborations. There is actually a really good video on YouTube. It is called the Beyonce, the Music Evolution from 1997 to 2022. Some of you might have seen a Tesla. Okay, so this is the one. This is how we gonna do this so you guys can see. But this person, Jonathan Lazary, did a really, really good job on showing her music evolution and even how much her voice has changed. So if you guys get a chance, go ahead and look that up and take a look at it if you haven't already seen it. I believe that through all of these acting efforts, these collaborative efforts, she's trying to show us at that time her diversity, but I don't think people are really catching on to it right away. Okay, I was about to pause. Okay. A lot of times with Black female artists, it's like the industry always has to box them where they can only be this. Especially someone who looks like Beyonce, someone who is like beautiful like Beyonce, who has her skin tone, her body shape, everything. It's very easy to box her and say that she can only do this kind of music and that she can't step out of that. We take someone like Tracy Chapman, Arlo Parks, you know, maybe someone that has like natural short hair, or who might be a little boyish or a little eclectic or a little, you know, or from a different country. It's easy for us to accept a certain look that comes with folk music, a singer-songwriter or indie music, right? We associate that pop with Beyonce because of how she looks, because of all the things that she's been able to do with her looks. If you go through all of her music videos, you'll just be like, man, this girl, she can be a doll. She can, I mean, from everything to being a police woman. If I were a boy, I have had my moments of frustrations with Beyonce's career because I would be in love with some singles. Like some of my favorites are Crazy in Love, Deja Vu, Work It Out. And when she did Work It Out, I was like, oh, this is definitely her vein. It had like that Tina vibe, and I just thought like she does the Tina Turner aesthetic so well, you know. But I know that she's paid homage and tribute to so many different artists and have been influenced by so many great artists in her music. Also, buying music was different back in the day. I was gonna say, I purchased Dangerously in Love, the CD, but we stream music differently these days, and I have not really purchased music. Okay, I purchased Billie Eilish, okay, but what I'm saying is I never felt like any of her other albums I could purchase because I never was able to grasp the fluidity or cohesiveness of the albums, and I would feel frustrated by that because I felt like from Dangerously in Love, she did this, and then she did that, and then she did this, and then she did that, and I felt like she was trying so many different things that it felt scattered to me, right? And here I want to say something else about that, as well as like us being fans. This is something that I realized in 2004. I was going through my own life issues like depression, anxiety, and oftentimes even as fans, we are in different mental spaces even while loving on the artists that we love. So when we are in those headspaces, we may not always see what it is that we need to see at the time, but it could be 5 or 10 years later that we can go back to something and be like, wait a minute, this is so crazy dope. How did I miss this? And that's both ways, because what we have to realize is that the artist is also going through things in their life, business-wise, personal-wise, and they're going through that in the public eye. And what that makes me think about is that statement. She said that she was a people pleaser. It just like cut in my gut like a knife, because the way I see that is most people early on in Beyonce's career probably was just like, well, she's just a pretty girl. And they more than likely, and this is like with all women, because I'm a woman and we all get just treated a certain way just by being women. The industry is still very male dominated. I have worked in different sectors for women in music, and we know the percentage 2-3% is probably growing now. I don't even know if we made it up to 4% in terms of women in music, but a lot of the women in music movements have really taken off in the last 5, 6, 7 years. Okay, so imagine being someone as beautiful as Beyonce, and her being a visionary, a creative, where people are not necessarily listening to her, allowing her to have the voice that she has. And when she says being a people pleaser, I see that in all of the efforts through so many albums and so many styles of music and so many different things. But at the same time, she's still showing diversity, right? Like, it's really interesting that I could look at it that way now. Like, previously I'd be like, man, this girl seems scattered. But now I see that it is some scattering, but also that she's just trying to show how multifaceted she is what I'm trying to say. So most people pleasers say yes to a lot of situations and try out all kinds of things because someone else said that this will work or that will work. The audience or consumer will or won't like this song or that song. Here's a little sidebar. So like my brother, he is a music business manager, and he has a well-known artist. Just me being a sister, I have had a few opportunities where I have been in recording studios and in label offices with A&Rs, and in my heart, because I feel like I'm good at marketing, right? In my heart, if someone was like, well, because this actually really happened, where someone was like going through the studio, we had like a 30-day blackout, asking everybody, which song do you think would be the good first single? And it was out of these two songs. And people were like, okay, this song. And I was like thinking this song, because the reason why I chose the song that I chose was because if you want an album to go universal and you want it to span across many demographics, you're going to need to put this song out. But if you want the album to be niched to this particular group of people, where the subject matter relates to this group of people that's going to understand what the subject matter is, then you can put that song out. And I didn't think that they made the right choice, but it's fine, because a first single can either really propel that album really fast, or a particular single can really cause that album to climb very slowly. I'm telling you, I have heard A&Rs be like, well, such and such song is a hot song right now. If we could do something like that. And I'm just thinking, like, why can an artist just be like, create their own authentic artistry without worrying about what's top of the charts right now? Because if you make something that sounds like that, then that sounds like that, and then everything else sounds like that. And then if every A&R is saying that to their artists, oh, this is hot right now, this sounds like that, then you got all of these unique artists that's making this one song that sounds like that one song that's hot and at the top of the Billboard charts, and nothing is sounding unique. And I've heard a lot of this. So it doesn't mean that just because somebody is an A&R or that they're like this person's manager or that manager, that they know exactly what they're talking about or that what they're doing. And there is a lot of that. There's a lot of that behind the scenes as far as like artist teams, for sure. So I say that because you can't imagine what Beyonce has probably gone through on the business side of things, being a visionary, being a unique person, being a creative person, and having people tell her what will and won't work. So after Dangerously in Love, we're kind of like backing up a little bit. This girl skyrockets, right? But this is such a smart move. Destiny's Child. So we get a Destiny's Child Christmas album, but the Destiny's Child farewell album is recorded and released after Dangerously in Love. And oftentimes when a solo artist goes solo, they don't usually return to their group so fast. Man, the DC3 is an iconic album. Today, people still love it and they're crazy about it, and so am I. Because what happens is we have grown-up Beyonce as a solo, and then we got grown-up Beyonce, Michelle, and Kelly as women now who are really giving us something so different from like the original installments of Destiny's Child. And we love it. So many of us women and all of the fans, the Beehive, everybody, we could really, really relate to the finality of Destiny's Child 3. Like, that album allowed Michelle and allowed Kelly to also really branch off to do their solo albums. I think it was needed. I will never forget when Kelly was like, she said in an interview, Beyonce, she's an amazing businesswoman. I will never forget that. Those are like the things that have always stuck with me. The crazy part is we would never really see Beyonce talking out like about those business things. It's like so much that she would keep internal and that she would just never really speak about herself. She always kept things about the music, about the performance, about the business, about the songwriting, and everything else she would keep personal. They leveled up. Everything leveled up. Beyonce leveled up. DC3 leveled up. Michelle going into Christian, and Kelly going into a lot of dance music and more so like the R&B pop, R&B alternative pop categories from a lot of her earlier music. We do know earlier on that Beyonce's dad, of course, had a huge role in the beginning of her career with Destiny's Child, of course, and her solo careers. He had a really strong hand in it. All of the criticism that she dealt with, but she still triumphed. I want to say, okay, because this is how I'm going to relate this to the advice that she has recently given us in the last 3 years. I remember being in high school, Destiny's Child first came out. People would be like, she sounds like a goat. I remember a award show performance where people laughed at her because her stomach was like jiggling. She had like loose skin or something, but she still triumphed. She worked on it. Whatever she needed to do, she did it. and she triumphed, okay? And I think that when we fast forward to the future, and she's given us her speech on success, Beyonce knows what it's like to be criticized and to be laughed at, and all of the lessons that she's learned throughout her career. A lot of people said that she was an overperformer, but I think that she was raised on the greats like Aretha and Tina and Prince and Michael, and that is what she knew, and it is what she knows, especially in an industry where being a great performer was already starting to be dummied down in the 2000s. And look at what we have now. A lot of it is not super, super great. When Beyonce switched over to an all-girl band, we remember that, right? Not a word spoken. I have not seen every interview in the world, but just on the surface of things, she never was like, oh, well, I have an all-girl band, because I could use my imagination and I could speculate and allegedly say that, oh yeah, oftentimes men do not listen to women, okay? And having an all-girl band let us know that there's a patriarchal issue here in this industry. And we start to see Beyonce become more feministic, more feminist-like, more so on the woman power, girl power train as she's learning and as she's growing in her career. And then we go to Dreamgirls. Now, I want to say most of us have seen Beyonce's audition reel. It might be on YouTube. I never looked. But I actually purchased the deluxe box collection of the Dreamgirls that had the movie, as well as all of the behind the scenes, the BTS, the making of the film. Now, I watched the making of the film more than I actually watched the film itself. And I believe that Beyonce truly thought, or truly believed in her heart, that this would be her breakout role, and that this would afford her her award show earnings. But not so. Okay, we have a newcomer, Jennifer Hudson, and you know what? Rightfully so. I mean, I was in tears. I was in theater and I was in tears. Okay, she gave an Oscar-winning performance. I believe the award was justified. Like Beyonce says in her success speech, she has lost 40-something times when it comes to awards. You know, and this is something that she's personally dealt with in her heart. So with Dreamgirls, we have the classic story, loosely, allegedly based off of Diana Ross and the Supremes. To this day, it's still all hearsay. Okay. By the end of it, some of the interviews that I watched, I believe that Beyonce realized that this was not what she wanted. The role of Dina was not wanted. It was not what she wanted to be engulfed in. I remember watching an interview about how she, like, at some point while they were filming Dreamgirls, she was running off secretly to go film B-Day. Now, if I got that right, because she dropped B-Day, she didn't say anything. And again, this goes back to the success speech that she gave us about not telling people what you're going to do. Don't just be out there saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Just be about it. Don't talk about it. Just be about it. And I believe that this is one of the greatest lessons that she learned, because it was also allegedly that her father didn't even know that she was going off secretly to a studio to record this album, and no one knew that she was recording it. And she said she needed to break herself from the role of Dina. Like, she was filming and playing Dina, and she needed to be Beyonce, and she needed to go and do something that Beyonce does. So Dreamgirls come out Christmas. It was a huge success Christmas movie. Guys, I'm just gonna show you a piece of this scene. This was so profound to me in the scene with Dina and Curtis towards the end of Dreamgirls. I'm telling you, every time I watch this film, for some reason, the minute she turns around and she says her lines, I was like, no. I was like, this girl is really saying this, and she's saying this about Beyonce, not Dina. It's like, this is exactly what she's gone through in her life, and I believe that those lines right there in that script really meant so much to her. So I'm going to show you guys this.
So I'm here. Go wait in the car.
That was a dirty trick you pulled on me.
I had to do something to stop it, Curtis. How could you do that, Effie?
I had to do what I had to. You think you're going?
I'm looking for a new sound, baby. Just like you.
You can't leave.
What? Because you own me? You can sue me. You can take everything I have. It don't matter. Because I'll start over. Effie did it, so can I.
Listen,
Y'all, it was like, I don't know who she was saying that to, okay? I got imagination, though. Probably to so many people. She was probably saying that to all the people who didn't believe in her. Like, it was just the way she turned around and was like, why? Because you own me? What? Girl, I felt that. And I felt like just even that segment in the movie was like her best acting. Her best acting. That definitely takes us to the future of what I was saying about her speech on success. Don't talk about what you're going to do, be about what you're going to do. And as a matter of fact, I want to bring that up next as well.
Don't talk about what you're going to do. Don't just dream about what you're going to do. Don't criticize somebody else for what they're not doing. You be it. Be about it. Be about that action and go do it. Keep your eye on your intention. Don't let any outside distraction or your own insecurity stop you from your goals. Look how far you've come and how much you contributed. Keep pushing.
And I know that she has lived every word of what she has said. That Beyonce that we have right now, in that speech in particular, is the Beyonce that is like the mother. It's a culmination of so many Beyoncés that she's grown into and the person that she's become. Let's fast forward. Beyonce drops Lemonade in the middle of the night at midnight. Let me tell you where I was. I was at my sister's house. I was braiding her hair. We were watching something, because I think it was HBO. And then I'm just braiding, and all of a sudden, the Beyonce film comes on. Nobody knows. I'm like checking my phone, and people are going crazy on YouTube. Like, oh, she just dropped something middle of the night, and nobody knew that she was dropping anything. Now, I'm watching Lemonade, and I'm like, I didn't really know much of anything that was happening, and I will explain that later. But honey, let me tell you, when Daddy's Lessons came on, all of a sudden, it was like a lightning bolt of energy went through me, and I was like, Bluegrass Beyonce. Listen, there are no words for me to even say how I felt about Daddy's Lessons, because I was like, that is Beyonce. That is her. I was like, her voice sounds so good. And I said, you know what? If we fast forward all the way till now, we pretty much, for those of us who have been waiting, I said, I have been waiting 8-9 years for Bluegrass Beyonce. And now finally we get Texas Hold'em. But before I get ahead of myself, we have a spiritual enhancement. And it comes by way of Jay-Z. I was in college staying with my brother for 6 months in Long Beach, who stayed near one of the metro train stations. And I remember standing at my car, and the train is going by, and there's this huge advertisement on the side of the train that says Jay-Z 444, because that is a God number that first came to me in a dream years before. And I'm telling you, I knew that when I saw that advertisement, I stood there in my car and I was like, something has changed. I know those numbers. We've all loved Jay-Z and his flow. The music was good. The music carried me and everybody else through junior high and high school, and that's how we partied. We get the Blueprint 3 and everything before with a certain kind of aesthetic, right? Now, there's some collaborative projects put together in between, but we don't really get anything until we get 444. And there was a lot of talk, and everybody knew. They were like, when they listened to this album, they were like, this album is different. Now, I watched this really amazing interview with Jay-Z in the New York Times, which many of you have seen, where he is talking about how him and Beyonce had started working on music collectively at the same time. And what became his project was 444. What became her project was Lemonade. And he went ahead and let her put her stuff out first. The first song we get is Kill Jay-Z. And he's literally, the line that stood out to me was like, I have a daughter now. When he talked about facing the fact that his mother is actually a lesbian. And for me, the 444 album was so intriguing that I literally ran to YouTube and was like, I need to know what this is all about. We find something that is a much more sensitive album. Like, it doesn't really come from a egotistical place, but you're really listening to all of the things that he's saying. And then the same thing with Lemonade. Even if I didn't like get it right off in the beginning, because I was probably really tired standing up all day braiding hair, one thing I do know is that Daddy's Lesson was off the chain, and I was hooked. I was a heavy listener of the Dixie Chicks and country music. I had always loved country music, and I loved country music so much that I actually had it in my schedule to make sure that I watched the Country Music Awards that year. Because, honey, I played the Dixie Chicks out forever and a day. We watching the Country Music Awards. We get Beyonce and the Dixie Chicks. I must have fell out my seat. Do you guys understand that was 8 years ago? Beyonce and the Dixie Chicks, 8 years ago, had the whole auditorium, the whole theater, shaking in their boots when she was done. Now, before I show you guys a little bit of the video, which a lot of you have probably seen already, I just want to touch a little bit more on Jay-Z. I knew that with the 444 album, that this was going to be an album that was different from all of the projects that he had done. I know that that number is a number of time and of guidance and direction. It is a spiritual transformation number. What I could see, and please leave it in the comments if you get what I'm saying. I saw a change in him as a person. I saw a change in Beyonce. I saw a change in their family. I saw a change in just their energy, the direction of their career. And again, I do not know these people personally. Energy, everything is a frequency. There was just a change in frequency. You know, like he's talked about that, like in interviews with them working through their marriage and working to build something really beautiful and fluid. Like the Kill Jay-Z for me is where he's literally like, I'm not that Jay-Z anymore. I'm this Jay-Z. And I believe that a male figure having a spiritual let's say change or transition, however you want to call it, then the woman, because I believe Beyonce, well, we as women, I believe that we're always very spiritual people. I believe that she's always been a very spiritual and God-loving person. And with that change in Jay-Z, that calls for more of a cohesiveness in the marriage, and it calls more of her to be able to be who she really is by finally having that spiritual respect from her husband, that she can be that strong spiritual queen that she is. 444 is where you really see the change in the life of everybody within their network. Now listen, Beyonce is a genius, because I'm going to show you guys a little bit of this performance. I'm going to bring the volume down some. First of all, you guys, we got Texas. Listen. Y'all, this girl is a genius. I can't take it. She is a genius. First thing, listen, we know she's always been repping Houston. First, we get Texas. This is Texas. I don't even have the words almost to describe how I feel and how genius she is. So let's see. Okay, she's given us that Texas Bama. She's telling us in Lemonade, Louisiana, Alabama, put it together, we get the Texas Bama. She's letting us know then. Lemonade gives you a lot of bayou, a lot of southern things, okay? I had to go back years later to watch it. I will make note. Black is King is a masterpiece. Black is King is a masterpiece. Black is King is a masterpiece. I've seen it like 50 times. Black is King is my thing. That's my thing. We'll get back to that in a second because that's such a sidebar. But you see everything she has on stage, all of the instruments. But not only that, she has teamed up with one of the baddest, like, rebel girl groups in the industry, the Dixie Chicks, which are now called The Chicks. They have dropped Dixie from their group name because these girls are some badasses, okay? They have been able to speak out, and when you get like some rebel chicks together, it is a game changer, okay? Man, this arrangement is so amazing. This is where we're bringing in like that Louisiana parade thing. Look at her. Get it, girl. Get it, babe. Girl, look at the audience, honey. Did you see Miranda Lambert's face? Child. Every country artist, listen. Every country artist in that audience was probably like, I wish I was on stage. This is so unbelievably epic. I don't even have the words. Okay. Transition is coming up. I'm trying to hold this phone. Look at them. Look at all those people on stage. Honey, she is tearing the house down. Listen. Y'all. Okay, sorry. I'm screaming. Wait a minute. Screaming. Y'all, they transitioned into Long Time Gone. I did not even catch this at the time. The girl is genius. She is literally showing you the fact that I can transition from Daddy's Lessons to Long Time Gone because the tempo has not changed. The beat, it has not changed. The tempo, the meter has not changed. And she's literally letting you know, my song, Daddy's Lessons, is country, because guess what? The Dixie Chicks can literally transition right into their song, and then we can literally transition right back to Daddy's Lessons, and then just kill the game. Child. Child. Do you even understand what is happening? They don't sound haggard, but they don't have cash. But they don't have nothing. Listen to this. Man, are you kidding me? Girl, bye. Girl, bye. And the reason why Beyonce is a genius is because she continued on in the pop R&B female vocal genre. And guess who was performing Daddy's Lessons all over the place? The Dixie Chicks. You can go to Google and put in Daddy's Lessons and it will say song by Beyonce, written by Beyonce and 3 other writers. And the Dixie Chicks is performing Daddy's Lessons while she's off continuing her journey in pop R&B. The girl is... she's the genius. Okay. All right. So, Lemonade. And we really don't get anything until Renaissance. In between, we get the gift. We get the masterpiece, Black is King, which I cannot even talk. I wrote a whole dissertation on Black is King, and it's sitting in my Google Docs, and it's like 5 pages of a whole essay that I still have not gotten to, and I've been writing it for 3 years. Okay, this is a whole Disney package deal. Okay, the gift is amazing. The Black is King album is amazing in conjunction with The Lion King. That's a whole nother spiritual subject. If you know, then you know. In order to understand Black is King, you would have to already know histories of African spirituality, histories of peoples, of African peoples and cultures. That's a whole nother history lesson, which I'm not going to even go in. So finally, we get to the Renaissance album. The first album, full-on album, really, since Lemonade. And it's amazing. The girl is giving us so much music. She's going back. She's giving us Madonna. She's giving us I'm Too Sexy. She's giving us bits and pieces inside of the music from the Gen X generations, from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the good music. She's singing her behind off. She's giving us scales. She's giving us Plastic on the Sofa. She's giving us Virgo's Groove. And it's a hit album. It's a hit tour. This Beyonce, this mother, this artist, this visionary, this creator is the Beyonce that I love. And when I tell you, my friend turned me on to Black is King, and I was watching it, and next thing you know, I watched it 50 times, and I think Disney Plus was tired of me because it kept giving me an error message. But I fell in love with Beyonce all over again with Black is King. And then you come into the Renaissance, and I'm just like, she is free. And she tells you that, right? In the film, she tells you that this woman is literally free. I am going to be 45 next month. And I know we are in the same demographic, the same generation. When you hit your 40s and beyond, you have learned so many lessons. And this is the Beyonce that we have right now. The 40 plus, the mother. Oh, she is amazing. And to me, I almost feel like the whole time over the past 27, however many years it's been, let's just say 25 plus years, it's almost like you're rooting, and it's like, yes, she made it. She made it to that frequency, and I made it to that frequency as a fangirl. And I'm like, yes, we have come full circle. And this is what we get with Renaissance. Thank you for putting my name in lights, Beyonce. Seriously. And we see Act 1. And I never thought to myself, Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. Act 2, we got Texas Hold'em, and we got 16 Carriages. 16 Carriages is a fire song. She said 38 Summers. This song, 16 Carriages, was probably written 5 years ago. Who knows? Okay? But it lets us know that more than likely she's been having these songs in the queue for the longest time already. And at the time when she did the performance with the Dixie Chicks, child, please, there was so much gatekeeping. It didn't seem like they was gonna let her into the country music genre at that time. But look, now we have Mickey. We have the other girl. Her name starts with the J. I'm so sorry that I cannot remember. But she showed up in my TikTok FYP like a few months ago, sometime last year. And she has the red hair. You guys know who I'm talking about. Let's just say this. It's possible that country music probably needed some help. I'm thinking this is how my brain works on the business side of things. When I'm thinking of internal meetings, marketing meetings, the meetings where people are discussing genres and discussing the state of an industry. Because guess what? Would you know who Florida Georgia Line is if it wasn't for Nelly collaborating with them? I'm not going to speak for nobody else, but I'm going to speak for myself. I wouldn't know who Florida Georgia Line is if it wasn't for Nelly doing the collaboration. But you're bringing the perfect collaborations from other genres that have other fandoms, and you're bringing them together, and all of a sudden now this country group has the same fans of this other person, Nelly, whatever rapper, whatever artist. So you have Mickey, you bring Mickey in, and she comes in with Black Like Me. At this juncture now, you're not gonna have Beyonce just sit on the sidelines when you have all of these black artists who have already entered in. And we've been had Darius Rucker. But once again, I go back to my Supremes, my Dream Girls method, right? Because Darius came in by way of Hootie and the Blowfish, right? We had to introduce him through the group, and now we have Darius Rucker, who is the country artist, and he's kind of like been country already. But again, everything is about a marketing strategy and how marketing and psychology works on the consumer and the way they listen to music. So not only do we have Beyonce entering into country, but she has made history. First female black artist to be #1 Billboard Top 100 Country or whatever it is with Texas Hold'em. Everybody's dancing. Everybody's working out to it. It's a movement. People are doing beautiful, amazing covers. And there's no way that we could have all of those artists that have entered in now and Beyonce not enter in. Country music probably needed her help. Think about it like this, guys. Because about within the last 10 years, I turned to some country music, and I'm starting to hear, and mind you, like I said before, I was a huge listener of country music. I used to listen to The Frog when it was The Frog. And I'm just going to say, I was starting to hear R&B, and in the rhythm section, trap elements, trap drum patterning in the country music ballads and the country music songs. Because you had country artists nay-naying. We remember that trend, right? So you have artists who are trying to appeal to the black audience, right? And now Beyonce comes in. We'll tell you what happened, and make sure you guys, you get your cowgirl and your cowboy boots. Make sure they plant-based and vegan, because we don't want to harm animals in wearing leather. Yes, leather is a byproduct, and the sales will go up. The sales of plaid will go up. The boots sales will go up. the hat sales will go up. What did Renaissance Tour do? Y'all know y'all was out there cleaning out the shelves in Joann's, Hobby Lobby, and Michael's. You know you were. Because this is how artists are also connected with economy. This is the business, guys. I'm literally telling you some gems right now if you don't already know. Because when Beyonce tells you to go and buy your metallic fringe, and you go to the dollar store, and you go to Joann's, and you go to Hobby Lobby, and you go to Michael's, you selling out, and you making your outfits, and you doing all this stuff, she's allowing you to be creative. She's allowing you to spend money and to help the economy. Same thing, Taylor Swift, a lot of trading bracelets. I see a lot of kids. I've been to the Paramore concert. I've been to like all of the Billie Eilish concerts. The kids, they do the trading bracelets, and they go and they clean out the jewelry aisles, and they're just making bracelets and all kind of things like that. Economy. Help. Country music is at the forefront now. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's arguing about it. She's not country. Yes, she is country. It's country line dance, guys. It's upbeat country line dance. And there you have it. Bluegrass Beyonce is finally here, and I've been waiting for 8 years. Those who are taken by surprise can be taken by surprise. Those of us who have been waiting, we've been waiting, and we got what we've been waiting for. The views on the Country Music Award performance is gonna skyrocket. Just Beyonce being Googled, skyrocket. The study of Beyonce's career, skyrocket, because I'm doing it. Everything is on Beyonce and country music right now, and we cannot wait for this album. Hashtag Return of the Chicks. Will we see formerly known as Dixie Chicks? Will the Chicks come back? Will the Chicks be featured on this new country album? Guys, oh man, this is so exciting. I hope I've covered everything, but that is going to be the end of my video. And at the end of it all, I love what she says in Renaissance. I used to be a people pleaser. Like, take me as I am. This is who I am. I don't give a FCK anymore. I have nothing to prove to anybody anymore. And this is the best Beyonce. Like, she's continuing on to the best Beyonce that we could have. And I'm so happy to be a fan girl, okay? I am signing off. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I cannot wait for what the next few months hold for music and this wonderful movement of happiness that we have. God bless. Again, this is Renaissance, and I thank you for being a part of my channel, for subscribing to my channel, and I will see you around next time. Peace and love. Bye.